maybe a little bit of added incentive here in this game. May have some bragging rights at the Thanksgiving table here in a couple of weeks.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
For the Clarks. Bryan Properties, a commercial real estate brokerage firm that specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. And Georgia Southwestern is going to throw in. Their sun starting to set here in Dahlonega. Was beaten down on us not too long ago, about 30 minutes ago, but the sun is starting to set a bit earlier here as we set our clocks back an hour as well. Also starting to get a little cooler here in the North Georgia mountains. Great ball movement by North Georgia, but that pass there from El Shami to Arnoff, a bit too strong as the Hurricanes now try to make something happen in transition here. A nice recovery from Kate Garth to send it back to Sierra Fowler. Here's Vessel, who sends it over to Baracey. There's just something different about playing at Lynn Cottrell Park in the UNG soccer complex. During the regular season, both North Georgia women's and men's soccer teams went undefeated at home. This is the first time the women's team has done that since the 2019 season, and the first time the men's team has done that in program history. Abby, having played both in front of the Nighthawk faithful and on the road, what makes playing here in Dahlonega so different from anywhere else in the PBC or anywhere else you may have played on the road?
That's a good question. You know, before I came here, I did not like playing on turf. And then I committed here, and you didn't really have a choice. But I love the turf now. It's just the ball moves so differently compared to grass. It just is very quick, and that's how I like to play. And I think that's how Kaylee and even Chris Adams, when he was here, that's how he liked to play. But I think it's really just the environment, like the crowd just being at your home field is awesome. And I think it adds just a little bit of an advantage to the game when you're playing for all of your friends, and the the men's team or other sports are here too. It just makes a difference.
Absolutely. And we tend to see a lot of the athletics teams here at North Georgia come out and support their fellow athletes. Men's soccer is in attendance today because they've got a game right after this. Game 2 of our Peach Belt Conference soccer tournament doubleheader, as the North Georgia's men's soccer is also going to take on Georgia Southwestern at around 6:30 tonight. And North Georgia definitely has some of the best fans in NCAA Division II, some of the prettiest facilities as well, but I feel like there definitely is a big debate over grass versus turf fields. We see that in soccer, we see that in football as well. We definitely have a gorgeous field here at the UNG soccer complex. Here is Durkay. A nice chip there, and that's going to have, there's no call on the play as Clark was tripped up.
Wow, yeah, he's not calling that.
And it looks like North Georgia is going to make some substitutions. No call there. That would have set up North Georgia with a PK. Instead, this game's staying at 1-0.
You can tell the crowd was not very happy about the ref's decision right there.
Absolutely, especially after the emotional game last week against Columbus State, where North Georgia was fouled in the box with less than a minute left, and they got a PK that gave them the 2-1 win. El Shami took it. As you mentioned, North Georgia making some substitutions, and they are on the move as they send this one in, and that one goes out of play, hits the right side of the goal for a goal kick for Beto. So Beto's going to take the goal kick here. And as we mentioned, some substitutions on the field for North Georgia and for Georgia Southwestern. Grace Gretsch now on the field for the Lady Hurricanes. And Nikki Gomez and Natalie McGuire now on the field for North Georgia. As the Nighthawks are going to throw in here in front of their bench. This goes back to Sierra Fowler. Historically, when you look at the previous matchups between North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern, every game has ended in a Nighthawks win. North Georgia has a 20-0 all-time record against the Hurricanes, as that through ball to Kate Garth is cut off. So this is an absolutely massive game for GSW. A win today would be their first ever PBC tournament win and first win against North Georgia in program history. Abby, how much do players take previous matchups against teams into consideration when they face each other? I know earlier this season we talked with you and Bailey Vessel about playing Flagler and how a win against them feels a bit extra special. How much of a factor does that play in games?
Yeah, I would say that it does play a little bit of a factor. It's hard not to think about it, but I think that it's something that going into the game you just kind of have to maybe set aside and just think, like, this is a fresh start, like, this is a clean slate, like, you know, it doesn't matter what the last time we played them was, you know. They've worked on things, they've been improving, just as like UNG's probably been working on certain things and improving at the same time. So it kind of comes out as, you know, they could be a little bit different teams. They could play a different lineup. So the matchup could be a little bit different. But I would say that in the past years that I've played Georgia Southwestern, over the years, they have gotten better. I think that maybe my freshman year, I would say I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but we would beat them a little bit higher up. It would be like 6-0 or, you know, 7-0 or something. But then over the years, it's kind of become a little bit closer of a game to like maybe 3 or even 2-0 kind of thing. So they have gotten better. So, I mean, it's more competitive.
And for those of you that don't know, Abby scored against Georgia Southwestern in every game that she played against them, except for one. Luckily, they're not going to have to play against Abby tonight. She's up here in the broadcast booth with us, but there's definitely plenty of players out there on this North Georgia squad that are a threat to score.
Robert, thank you for pointing that out. I didn't even know that was a fact right there.
As the corner is sent in, ball still alive. Gomez tries to track it down. And Beto is going to fall on top of this one. She's had her work cut out for her here in this first half. And for the most part, she's done a solid job in goal for Georgia Southwestern. Had that one goal go past her from Kat Watry.
I would say she's done a great job, too. I mean, the volley from Kat, I don't think that many goalkeepers would be able to save that.
Here's El Shami. Tries to get it into Ariel Arnoff. Nice job by Vessel, taking over. Tries to get a through ball into Ariel Arnoff. This rolls back to Sierra Fowler. Under 20 minutes left here in the first half. Score still 1-0. North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern in the Peach Ball Conference Tournament quarterfinals. As Garth wins that matchup, but Georgia Southwestern keeps possession for the moment.
It's kind of bouncing around back and forth there.
McGuire tried to track it down. She had a couple of Lady Hurricane defenders around her. And every time that the Lady Hurricanes have tried to get past midfield, put some pressure on this Nighthawks back line, they've stood strong. They've been up to the challenge and haven't seen a whole lot of action over there on that right side here in this first half. Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week Award and a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics. If you're looking for great food nearby, it's Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. Shami now with the ball. Gomez, the speedster, tries to track it down. She keeps it in play. She gets around her defender, and it deflects off the foot of a Lady Hurricane, giving North Georgia another corner kick in this first half. I think this is their fourth already in this game. They're one of the leaders in the Peach Belt Conference in corners. We'll see if they can capitalize off this opportunity here. Watry sends it in. Ball stays in the air. And she tried to find Vessel on that play. Vessel was able to get her head on the ball. It was a bit off there on the header. This ends in a goal kick for Georgia Southwestern.
It was a pretty accurate corner going straight to Vessel. I think that's what they've learned, is that they've got to get it to the taller players right there, because we've never, in the past couple of years, we've had a lot of corners, but we just have a lot of trouble scoring off of them.
I feel like a lot of North Georgia teams haven't really had the height advantage against their opponents, so.
What are you trying to say, Robert? I'm just joking.
No shade, no shade. I'm 5'3" myself, so. I feel like a lot of these North Georgia players, even though they may be on the shorter side, they've still got the ups. They're still
I would agree.
Get up there with the tallest of them. This goes back to Vessel. Now at midfield, here is Wheeler.
That's one thing that I would like to point out that I think that they've done a great job this season is the possession play. They keep the ball so well and pass it back, go out the other side, and then pass it back again. And it's like we're not forcing it forward every single time. We want to keep it and try to find those open spaces up top.
Ball is still alive in the box, sent out of play. Yeah, we've seen a lot of action on this left side. North Georgia's, as Abby's mentioned, done a great job of keeping possession. Even when they've been pressured a bit, their back line has had no problem keeping hold of the ball and preventing Georgia Southwestern from making any sort of attack. This gets back to Wheeler. She's going to find an open Kate Garth. Over here on the near side, gets back to Wheeler. As that rolls out of play, Georgia Southwestern will throw in near their bench. Last time these two teams faced off was on September 16th, when the Nighthawks went on the road and picked up a 4-0 win against the Hurricanes. That game highlighted by goals from 4 different Nighthawks, a trend that we've seen all season long. And that game was really a turning point in the season where we saw North Georgia establish themselves as a truly dominant team. It was their third straight win. They were holding down the 20th ranked spot in the nation, still undefeated at the time. And they'll be looking to repeat some of that success today as they look to secure a spot in the PBC tournament semifinals. Georgia Southwestern's going to throw in now in front of the Nighthawks bench. Nighthawks keep possession, send this one back. About 13 and a half minutes left. Still 1-0 North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern. Nighthawks in transition here, and that pass into McGuire gets away.
I wish McGuire would have just taken that for herself right there.
This is a very unselfish North Georgia team. We'll talk more about that later. So many different players on this team have scored a goal. They're not completely reliant on just one specific player. Every Nighthawk that has stepped on the field has been a threat to score for Coach Ralton and the Nighthawks. North Georgia's back line, keeping it away from the Hurricanes. If they want, they can play a bit of keep away here at the end of this first half to maintain that lead going into the locker rooms. But we've seen this year, North Georgia is not afraid to take that foot off the gas. They're going to continue their attack here. Arnoff tries to send one in. Crosses it in. Nobody home for North Georgia. It's going to be a throw-in for the Lady Hurricanes.
I agree with you, Robert, there. I think that no matter what the score is, they're not taking their foot off the gas pedal until the final whistle blows. They want more goals. They're not satisfied with it, which is great because it makes it for fun soccer to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Now, it looks like we're going to have some substitutions as North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern make some subs late here in the first half. And it looks like Alexa Aronoff is now on the field for North Georgia.
Subbed in for her sister.
So don't get to see them share the field quite yet.
No, decided to move over Nikki Gomez to that left side where Ariel Aronoff was.
As the Hurricanes send this one out of play, Watry's going to throw it in. And Sierra Moore is now on the field for Georgia Southwestern. McGuire leaves it for Clark. Clark takes the shot. The ball is still alive, and a great recovery there by Georgia Southwestern. And number 16, Ellie Carrington, as that ball looked like it had a chance to roll into the back of the net, got past Beto. She's able to clear it and keeps the score at 1-0 for the time being. Nighthawks are going to have a corner here where they're on the left side. Cross it in. Found Vessel again on that corner. That was just a bit too far out of the box. As Garth sends this to Adelaide Wheeler. Wheeler tries to get a through ball into Kat Watry. Watry takes the shot, and that's deflected by Beto. Some nice work there from Georgia Southwestern's goalkeeper. Watry almost had her second goal of the evening.
You know, I always wonder why Kaylee Ralton doesn't put Kat Watry up top sometimes too. Just try that out. I mean, she scores the goal. She scores goals, and as an outside back, she gets forward so much where it's like, I wonder how she would do up top.
Yeah, she's given the space. She's going to take the shot. She's been very aggressive here in this first half. But that just goes to show you, the quality of players that Coach Ralton has on her roster. Watry is more than capable of finding the back of the net. She's also one of the best defenders in the Peach Belt Conference, won a PBC Defender of the Week award this year as well. Lots of action going on in the box. Clark keeps possession, and Beto falls on top of that.
I think that was impressive on Alex Clark on her own. I don't know how she just kept the ball through all those defenders.
She was swarmed by at least 3 or 4.
She really was.
Lady Hurricanes there and kept possession. Now 7:45 left in the first half. Score still 1-0. North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern.
For Georgia Southwestern, number 18, Sierra Moore. And stepping onto the field for North Georgia, number 26, Alexa Arna.
El Shami sends it back to Racy, I believe, and this goes to Kate Garth.
You know, going back to Hurricanes number 18, Moore, she's got 19 shots. She leads the team with shots, so I feel like she might be one that, you know, just Vessel and Baresi need to be just aware of.
Definitely someone that Nighthawks are going to have to contain tonight. They want to move on to the semifinals. So far in this first half, Vessel and Nighthawks back line has done a good job keeping the attack game from Georgia Southwestern quiet. And Moore just stepped into the game a few minutes ago, which hasn't seen a lot of action on the field for the Lady Hurricanes so far in this game. Maybe we'll expect to see more of her in that second half as the Lady Hurricanes try to get back into this one.
It looks like they're playing just one up top, just Moore. So that's definitely difficult, just being the only forward against 4 defenders all by yourself. So I'm wondering, you know, in this next half, if the Hurricanes coach is going to change up their starting or their lineup, maybe put another person up top, try to break through our defense.
And this is going to be a goal kick for Beto after that one rolled out of play. Beto already has faced 10 shots in this game with 5 saves. So she's been putting in work in this first half. Sierra Fowler has faced just 1 shot so far, 1 save for her as well. And the Nighthawks have a 7-0 advantage in corner kicks so far in this game. As we mentioned earlier, they're one of the leaders in the Peach Ball Conference in corners this season. El Shami now with the ball. She tries to find Watry. She's cut off there by Georgia Southwestern. Gets back to Vessel. Under 5 minutes left in the first half. Wheeler had some pressure from behind. It gets to El Shami. As McGuire chases it down, Beto is out of place, and that shot is just off by North Georgia. You know, El Shami would love to have that one back as Beto was away from the goal. El Shami had the shot a little too strong. That one soars right and ends up in a goal kick for Beto.
I think it had a little bit of extra curve on it that I don't think she was trying to do there. But it was good work by McGuire. I mean, to get it past the keeper, draw them out away from the goal, that was good.
It looked like it was going to roll out of play. As Abby mentioned, good job by McGuire keeping it in play. Here's Kat Watry, has some pressure on her from Georgia Southwestern. Again, North Georgia, good job of keeping possession. Lady Hurricanes cut off the Nighthawks there. Gets back to North Georgia's back line. Wheeler now at midfield. Finds McGuire. Nighthawks throw in. Gets back to Kate Garth, working over there on that left side. Garth crosses one in just outside the box. Watry tries to chip it in to McGuire.
It looked like she had a little push in the back from McGuire right there.
Ball stays in the air. As Watry keeps it alive, whistle and a foul. And that's going to go against Georgia Southwestern, giving the Nighthawks a free kick in a bit of dangerous territory here. Vessel with room. Vessel takes the shot. That's going to bounce on the turf into the hands of Meadow. Watry's going to throw in front of the Nighthawks bench. Minute and a half left in the first period. This is a somewhat younger Georgia Southwestern team, just one senior on the squad, being Geraldine Alvarez. But the younger players on this team have stepped up to the plate, with most of the Hurricanes' goals this season coming from freshmen and sophomores. Through ball to Gomez. Stays alive. Gomez takes the shot, and that one goes right as well. A couple of good opportunities for North Georgia there on that left side of the box. And that shot by Gomez soars right. And this is going to be North Georgia's 8th corner of the game. We haven't even hit halftime yet.
Wow, 8 corners in one half.
Under a minute left.
A goal off of one.
Corner stays on the ground. Nice play design there from North Georgia. And that's going into the hands of Meadow.
30 seconds
That looked like a very creative corner. I've never seen that one before by UNG.
Couple of fake outs there. Players running over the ball, expecting them to get a touch on it.
10.
Now with 10
9,
seconds left,
8, 7,
Nighthawks can
6,
play a bit of keep
5,
away here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And as the halftime horn sounds, the score stands at 1-0. North Georgia leads Georgia Southwestern in Game 1 of the Peach Belt Conference Tournament quarterfinals. We've got some first half stats and breakdowns coming your way. We will step aside for a halftime commercial break. You're watching the Peach Belt Conference Women's Soccer Tournament on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I'm here!
You've got a lot of reasons to be here. That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatments save more hearts than anywhere in Georgia.
My baby girl is home!
Georgia Heart Institute.
Since 2007, we've seen an explosion in popularity of superhero movies in the last decade. Rayner argues that superhero films offer an escape from the boredom many of us feel with our lives. We love the epic. We want epic lives. There's a tension you're going to face as you celebrate, walk out of this door, and you go to Monday and you say, what's next? And more importantly, how do I live a superhero life? John Gordon, he's a best-selling author on leadership. This is what he says. There's a myth about success, graduates. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. One that says it's all about you. But here's the truth. You're not a real success unless you're helping others be successful. That's the greatest self-growth strategy of all time. The more you help others grow and improve, you grow and improve. Focus on others. It's not about you. And you'll find something even greater than success. Graduates, you'll find significance. But remember, in all of this, there's a tension. How do I live a superhero life? Enter the epic by being bold. Your family, your community, our state, and our nation are all counting on you. Graduates, today we celebrate you. We celebrate your hard work. We celebrate your diligence. We celebrate your commitment. And I am so incredibly proud of you.
You can't really get an idea of how another country runs their military till you go abroad.
It was cool to see their outlook on just life in general. To be there as a global ambassador is definitely a life-changing experience.
I participated in the Management College National Defense University Cadet Exchange. That is located in Taipei, Taiwan.
So I participated in study abroad internship in country of Georgia. The program I participated in was the Swiss Summer Mountaineering course. The experience was extremely professional. There were people from different militaries across the world. I was training with soldiers that were once our adversaries. It's fun to notice the importance of diplomatic relations and also civil affairs through the military.
The host school was always really going out of their way to help us get the full cultural experience because we were, in their eyes, only going to be there for 5 months.
They drove us out and we hiked to a glacier. That was unique, especially coming from Tennessee. There's no ice walls to climb. Their native language of Georgian was very difficult. However, at the end, I gave a little speech in Georgian, thanking their academy. It was an eye-opening experience. One thing I learned in Switzerland was to try and enjoy everything that you're doing, no matter how challenging it is.
Being able to see the country of your target language in person and really living day to day can move your passion to continue learning the language that much further.
All the conferences, all the internship, and all the exchange programs will help you as you develop, not just as a soldier, but also as a person. I think everybody in the course should study abroad because it will develop them so much.
If you have a free semester, it's the perfect time to explore a country. There's really not much holding you back in terms of whether or not you should go. It's a great experience.
I got an extremely valuable training and just an overall incredible life experience that I wouldn't have gotten going to any other school. And it was the opportunity of a lifetime.
My wife's family is full of medical professionals, including lots of nurses. The more they talk to me about nursing, the more I realize there are so many different opportunities within the field of nursing. You can constantly continue growing, continue learning, which was something that really drew me to it. I was really attracted to the accelerated program at UNG for a couple reasons. One, I heard that UNG, like everything I've heard about UNG's nursing program is incredible. I have a couple friends who have been through it in recent years and had just spoke very highly of it. Just everything I've seen online, spoken about it, it's just a very reputable program. So UNG was already a pretty clear choice for me. And then seeing the opportunity to do an accelerated program, it was kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, I get to graduate earlier, and One of the things that appealed to me the most, actually, was that most of our clinical rotations are at Northeast Georgia Medical Center. I am really thankful for the faculty that are specifically dedicated to the ABSN program here. This faculty, they really want to see us succeed in this program and be the best nurses we can possibly be.
From the moment you know where you are headed, it starts a journey that you will never forget. For those who seek a higher calling, to serve something bigger than themselves and take the path less traveled, UNG awaits to prepare you for your leadership pathway. Once you're here, you will be challenged and developed, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Freshman Recruit Orientation Group, or Frog Week, is the first step of the UNG journey. The commitment, the attitude, the effort, and the resilience take shape as you move forward on the pathway that most will never attempt.
Y'all got 2 minutes to change into OCPs. Time now. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
It is a process that teaches you about yourself and makes you better than you were yesterday. At times, it can be a struggle, but it's also an investment in yourself. Like life, it can create moments of doubt. You learn about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses. You share this journey with the men and women to your left and right, establishing lifelong bonds with the understanding that nothing worth having ever comes easy. But through adversity, you build strength, determination, and the desire to never quit. Frog Week will establish a foundation to build upon, strengthen you physically and mentally, and start shaping you into the leader you came here to be. For cadets at the University of North Georgia, they take the road less traveled, avoid taking the easy way out, and develop instrumental values that will prepare them for a life of service and leadership. Some people talk about it, others are about it.
Welcome back to Dahlonega, where the score is 1-0 North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern at the half of Game 1 of the Peach Ball Conference Women's Soccer Tournament quarterfinals. Here are some stats for you from that first half. Of course, North Georgia with the 1-0 lead. That goal coming from Kat Watry. She got her 3rd goal of the season. And North Georgia took a whopping 14 shots in that first half compared to 1 from Georgia Southwestern. 8 of those North Georgia shots were on goal. That 1 shot by Georgia Southwestern was on goal, but saved by Sierra Fowler. The Nighthawks have had a staggering 8 corners in this game already, just that first half alone. Georgia Southwestern does not have one yet in the game. We'll see if they can get some opportunities for some corners here in this second half. No cards thrown in that first half. 3 fouls called on North Georgia, 1 foul called on Georgia Southwestern, no offsides called on either team. And Beto for Georgia Southwestern, she's had her work cut out for her in that first half. She has 7 saves already. And she really has had a very solid game for the Lady Hurricanes so far in this game. As we mentioned earlier, she's one of the most experienced goalkeepers this season, that is, in the Peach Ball Conference. She's played the most minutes out of any goalkeeper in the PBC so far this year. And she made some pretty terrific saves there in that first half. We'll see if she can continue that dominant play in the second half. Fowler hasn't had to do too much here in this game. She faced that 1 shot, had the 1 save earlier in that first half. Abby, what stands out to you the most on that stat sheet from the first half?
I would probably say the shots for 1. 14 shots in the first half, but only 1 goal. I think we can step it up a little bit more in this next half. Also, I'd probably say the corners. I think that's how we kind of ended this first half. 8 corners in 1 half. I feel like that's a lot.
Oh, yeah. And this season, the 2023 Peach Ball Conference tournament format is a bit different from last season. This year, the top 8 teams in the Peach Ball Conference faced off, with seeds 1 through 4 hosting the 5 through 8 seeds for the quarterfinals. And the final 4 teams coming out of the quarterfinals will play the semifinals and finals at the highest remaining seed on November 10th and 12th. So if North Georgia wins today, they're guaranteed to host the semifinals and finals this weekend, being the number 1 seed. Abby, having played in plenty of PBC tournament games yourself, how important is it to have that home field advantage in a tournament setting versus, a regular season game?
I would say it's very important. In my 5 years that I played, for the Nighthawks, we never hosted the tournament. So this is amazing for them to get to do it this year. And I think that it's a big advantage to be able to play at our field and have our fans here. Because, our fans, our parents and stuff, they follow us around a good bit, which is very nice. But it's just different having, other sports, your friends here, your classmates and everything that you can visibly see cheering you on instead of just knowing that they're kind of watching it on the PBC network instead.
Absolutely. And I feel like, also playing at home, you get stay in your routine, stay into your classes, be able to eat the same food, sleep in, your own bed. And so I feel like that also may be a bit of an advantage as well to playing some of these tournament games at home, not having to stay on the bus a whole lot. Players are well rested here at home. So if they win today, they're going to be playing the rest of the tournament here in front of the Nighthawk faithful. And 45 minutes down, 45 to go here in Game 1 of the PBC Women's Soccer Tournament quarterfinals. North Georgia trying to move on to the semifinals. It's going to happen this weekend as both teams get ready to take the field. Here's what the rest of the tournament schedule looks like today. The 2nd-seeded Columbus State is hosting the 7th-seeded GCSU at 7 p.m. 3rd-seeded Flagler is hosting 6th-seeded Clayton State, with that game kicking off around 5 p.m. That game's already underway. And the 4th-seeded Bearcats from Lander are hosting the 5th-seeded USC Beaufort at 7 p.m. So the sides have now flipped. Fowler's going to be over there on your left side of the screen. Beto's going to be over there on the right. We are ready to get things rocking and rolling here in this second half. And away we go. Final 45 minutes here in these PBC quarterfinals. Georgia Southwestern will throw in here. Now the Nighthawks will throw in. Watry threw it in. She was very aggressive in that first half. Had the goal to give North Georgia the 1-0 lead. Can expect to see her be just as aggressive here in the second half.
Hot chocolate beside the concession stand that is available to all in attendance today at today's Peach Belt Conference soccer matches. Thank you to UNG Student Affairs for making this coffee and hot chocolate available.
As that ball
while
stays
supplies
in
last.
the air. Ball goes past midfield. The sun's beginning to set here in Dahlonega, which means it's getting a bit cooler outside. But here at the UNG Soccer Complex, they're giving out complimentary coffees and hot chocolate to the fans here in the stands. They have to snag one of those after this game.
I was thinking the same thing for the men's game.
Definitely going to get a little bit cooler as the sun sets. Should be dark by the time the men's game is underway. Here's El Shami, who tries to send it into the box, deflected by Hurricanes defense there. Bailey Vessel now with the ball. River City Bank is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Their personal banking products were designed with your unique needs in mind and proudly serve the Rome, Blairsville, and Dawsonville areas. Nighthawks on the attack. That's deflected by Bedeau. Another great save from her. Keeps this game at 1-0. Ball rolls behind the Nighthawks bench. It's going to give them a throw-in. I believe this is a goal kick for Bedeau, excuse me. And she's just going to try to send this one downfield as far as she can. Gets it to around midfield. GSW throws it in. Ball soars high into the air, out of play. Kate Garth now will throw in, this time in front of GSW's bench. When you look at the offensive side for North Georgia and the different ways in which they can score, it's truly something that can't go unnoticed. We've seen some of the seniors break away and lead the Nighthawks in scoring, with El Shami, Darkay, and Ariel Arnoff having 6 goals apiece. But when you look at the rest of the scoring distribution for North Georgia, a staggering 17 different Nighthawks have scored a goal this season. So if you exclude North Georgia's goalkeepers, 77% of the Nighthawks that have stepped foot on the field thus far have scored. Abby, I know we've talked about this time and time again on previous broadcasts, but I don't really know if I've ever seen anything quite like this before.
No, me neither. And I know that we've brought it up every time I've done the broadcasting, but I mean, in the past years, it's always just been like one main forward that has kind of scored all the goals for North Georgia. But this year, it's just something different. I mean, to have 17 different players score a goal, it's really awesome to see, and it just makes it so much harder for opposing teams to defend because they don't really know. You know, in the scouting reports, the coaches always give like 1 or 2 players we need to watch out for, but for North Georgia, I mean, it's multiple.
Absolutely, and why they may try to circle in on El Shami or Durkay or even Ariel Arnoff. You know, there's plenty of players out there who are a threat to score. Who knows? We could see a Nighthawk get their first goal of the season here in this game, push it to 18 different Nighthawks who have scored this year. As Vessel keeps it in play, ball stays in play for Georgia Southwestern. That's cleared by Kat Watry. And the Nighthawks will throw in. Ball gets past midfield. Soars into the air. Baracey is there. Ball falls at midfield. Vessel is there, gets back to Baracey. Darby Olive passes it back to Vessel. Nighthawks, again, not seeing a whole lot of pressure from Georgia Southwestern as they try to maneuver the ball around Lady Hurricanes' defense.
I really think they've been playing a very defensive game, you know, and being 1-0 down, and you kind of think that what do they really have to lose? I feel like they should be kind of pushing more people up top just to maybe get that goal and tie it back up 1-1.
We've seen North Georgia, they had plenty of opportunities there in that first half. 14 shots for the Nighthawks in the first 45 minutes. But so far, this Hurricanes defense has been able to weather a bit of the storm here from North Georgia. Now the Hurricanes will throw in. Got some Georgia Southwestern fans in attendance as well here at Lynn Control Park, making the 3-hour, 45-minute drive up to Dahlonega.
Wow, that's some dedication right there.
With some moves. This gets into the box and collected by Fowler. Absolutely. Lots of Peach Bell Conference schools have some very dedicated fans. Lots of the schools are within a reasonable distance of one another. 3 hours, 45 minutes. Not too bad of a drive.
I would say Flagler is the worst one.
I bet. But that was not fun. having to get on the bus.
Last year we had to make that drive twice. One was for the in-season game against Flagler, and then one was for the tournament play last year.
Lots of the PBC schools residing in Georgia and South Carolina. Flagler being one of the exceptions to that. Almost 10 minutes gone here in the second half. The score is still 1-0. North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern. It's been relatively quiet so far here in the second half. As Bedeau collects that one, she's going to boot this one downfield. As Vessel pushes this one past midfield. El Shami over there with the ball. And she's doing her best Frank Champion impression there, breaking some ankles. And the Nighthawks will throw in over there at midfield. And that first half between Flagler and Clayton State, already underway. Score is still 0-0 with 14 minutes left in the first half of that game. Arnoff leaves it for Wheeler. And El-Shami a little too strong on that shot, had the space, took the shot, soars over the goal for a goal kick for Beto.
Hey, but I will take her shooting, though.
Oh, absolutely.
When you were talking about we have some unselfish players, I would say that El-Shami is definitely one that I wish that she would shoot more in games and get some goals for herself. I feel like she's a very big distributor in the midfield. And she does a great job at that, too, but I think that she can score some goals as well.
And we've seen the veteran El-Shami step up in a big way for her team this season. As we mentioned earlier, she's got 6 goals under her belt this year. She also has 6 assists to lead North Georgia and rank in the top 10 in the Peach Ball Conference. And she hit the biggest shot of the regular season for North Georgia, knocking the game-winning PK through against Columbus State. Abby, I believe we talked earlier this season about players that were going to step up as leaders on this North Georgia team. El-Shami was a name that came up, and she's absolutely delivered for the Nighthawks this year.
I completely agree. I would say that, playing with El-Shami the past couple years, she's always been a big player on the field, just by her leading by example of how she plays. But I think this past year, just being a leader and encouraging the team and getting them to step up to play to their potential, I think she's done a great job at that as well.
Got a whistle here. Looks like Georgia Southwestern is going to make some substitutions. As number 23, Emily Davis, steps off. And number 7, Sophia Katopka, now on the field for the Lady Hurricanes. Olive making her way past a few defenders. Watry leaves it in the box, and the shot's taken by Durkay. And another great defensive play there from Beto and this Georgia Southwestern back line. Durkay had some space, but again, Beto stands strong. So North Georgia's going to throw it in. And Michael Fruits is now on the field for North Georgia.
I'm glad she's getting some playing time again. I think that she started off the season really well, getting to play a lot, and then kind of hasn't played as much in the past couple games, so she needs this.
Absolutely. She's been a staple in this lineup for a couple of years now for Coach Ralton. So it is great to see her back on the field. Seen some action in this quarterfinals tournament game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her play. I think that she is one of the underrated players that, kind of goes under the radar but does her job well.
As this gets back to Bailey Vessel. Fruits this season has played 989 minutes coming into this game. Could surpass the 1,000-minute mark this season, depending on how long she stays in the game for. She's got 2 goals as well. And in the 14 games that she's played for North Georgia, she's started in 13 of them. Definitely an integral part of this North Georgia squad. As this ball rolls out of play, and Watry's going to throw it in for North Georgia. Gets it into Baracey. As Elshami tried to leave that for Adelaide Wheeler. Gracie now showing off the speed as she takes over, finds an open Nighthawk over there. Darby Olive with the ball, sends it into the box.
I love seeing, I love seeing Gracie get up too. I think that's one difference between her and Vessel is that Vessel likes to stay back a little bit more, but Baresi does. She takes up her space.
Absolutely. We saw a couple games ago, she's not afraid to take advantage of that space. That's a great sight to see from these North Georgia defenders that, they're not afraid to take the shot. They're not afraid to make their way past midfield into the box and try to find a goal. Bracy, I believe, is still searching for her first goal of the season, trying to become the 18th different Nighthawk to score a goal this year. As this gets back to Vessel, trying to make her way past midfield into Wheeler, who gets a touch, trying to find Watry. Watry was trying to work her way past a couple Lady Hurricanes defenders, ends up in the possession of Darby Olive. Olive, again swarmed by some Lady Hurricanes, rolls out of play, and now Baresi will throw in. Jitterbug Party Rentals, a trusted partner for all your inflatable and event rental needs, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Their mission is to provide an easy, safe, clean, and professional rental experience to the North Georgia area. Almost 20 minutes gone in this second half. Score is still 1-0. Nighthawks with the lead over Georgia Southwestern. And that one gets through for North Georgia. They extend their lead 2-0. A bit more of a cushion now for them in this PBC tournament quarterfinal as they take the 2-0 lead over the Hurricanes here in this game.
Robert, I think you spoke too soon. You jinxed it right there. That was good.
Hopefully it was a good jinx.
It was a good jinx. To be 2 up is good.
North Georgia goal by number 2, Alex Clark.
Alex Clark finds the back of the net for
Number 3, Adelaide Wheeler.
North Georgia. Adelaide Wheeler gets the assist.
Soccer field at Lincoln Shaw Park is North Georgia 2, Georgia Southwestern 0.
So now North Georgia has a bit more of a cushion with the 2-0 lead.
I was just about to say I want to see another goal, and then there we go.
Maybe we should start doing that more often. When we're close to the box, talk about, the score and where it's standing at.
Maybe.
See if that results in some more goals. Megan O'Brien now on the field for North Georgia. Ball still alive. Rolls out of play. And it looks like the clock will stop as the Lady Hurricane is down. So the athletic trainers will come out to the field to attend to the injured Hurricane over there. There's lots of action going on over there on that right side. Couldn't quite see what happened exactly. But we will step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching the PBC Women's Soccer Tournament on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Considering a career change? Ready to lead in healthcare? Be a nurse in 15 months with our accelerated Bachelor's of Nursing track. Learn more at ung.edu/ABSN.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatment protocols are saving more hearts than anywhere else in the state. That's why we're here.
I'm here.
So you'll always be there. The future of heart care, we're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
Welcome back to Dahlonega as the injured Hurricane was able to step off the field. Great sight to see that she was able to walk off. And North Georgia is going to make some substitutions. It looks like Alexa Aronoff steps back onto the field for North Georgia. And Chloe Diaz now on the field for the Nighthawks as well.
It looks like Kaylee Ralton has put Alexa Aronoff back in her normal spot from last year, her right back position.
So Bedot is going to have the goal kick here. Boots this one almost past midfield. Diaz was there. Here is Wheeler now with the ball. Tried to get it into O'Brien. O'Brien, a transfer player for North Georgia. She's made an immediate impact on this squad in her short time as a Nighthawk. O'Brien has 4 goals this season, second most on the team behind Durkay, Ariel Aronoff, and El Shami. She's also got 5 assists this season as well, ranking in the top 10 in the Peach Bell Conference. Second on the team behind El Shami. Speaking of O'Brien, she tries to cross that one and deflected by the Hurricanes. And this is going to be another corner for North Georgia.
What number is that now?
Definitely a lot. Definitely up there in corners. This is going to be their 12th of the game, Abby.
Wow. That is a lot.
We'll see if they can capitalize off their 12th here as they send it in. Ball still on the turf. And GSW recovers. Here's Baresi, tries to leave it for McGuire. Ball gets past her, now at midfield with Wheeler. And the fans here at Lynn Cottrell saying to put the pressure on. Ball is still rolling over there in the box and cleared by GSW. Another good recovery from the Lady Hurricanes. Nighthawks are still going to try to put the pressure on. the Hurricanes make their way past midfield. Deflected out of bounds by North Georgia. Hurricanes throw it in. As McGuire is tripped up, no whistle, and now we do get a whistle. As North Georgia makes another substitution in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he called a foul on that. He just regular throw-in.
And the senior, Michelle LaPenta, is now in the game for North Georgia. As LaPenta steps on for Baresi.
Stepping on for North Georgia, number 12, Michelle LaPenta.
It's always a good feeling when you see that Coach Cayley has taken out the starters and put out some new people to play. Probably giving the starters a bit of a break, because they've got the next game this week. Wants them to feel completely fresh for that.
Absolutely. Great to see LaPenta in the game as well. I know a few weeks ago we were talking about her on the broadcast for Senior Day. You got to play some seasons with her, and you said that she was one of the best teammates that you had ever played with.
Yeah, she's very hardworking. Someone that, like I said, goes under the radar a little bit. She hasn't really got all the minutes that, she's probably deserved over the years. She's been unfortunate with some injuries, too. I know she had an ACL and some other kind of knee issues. But it's great to see her out on the field. And she doesn't look like she has anything really wrapped up right now, I can't tell. So that's really good to see.
So she could potentially finish out this game for Coach Ralton and the Nighthawks as this ball bounces back to Bailey Vessel. Vessel's been an anchor for this Nighthawks back line for years. So far in this game, she's kept GSW scoreless, along with the rest of her back line and Fowler, as Fruits tracks this one down, gets it back to Fowler.
I think Vessel's going to leave a very big hole in that back line. She's got, whoever takes her place has got some very big shoes to fill in that position.
Vessel, one of the best to ever do it in a Nighthawk uniform. We'll see who's able to step up into that role next season. Whether she's on the field or she's up here in the broadcast booth, she can definitely do it all. Shami sends it back to Wheeler. Goes back to El Shami. Deflected by some Hurricanes as they try to make a transition push here. As the Hurricanes tried to find Bustamante there. Nice job by this North Georgia back line to take over. Nighthawks trying to make a push here. McGuire takes the shot, and that's deflected and goes in for North Georgia as they extend their lead 3-0 in the quarterfinals. And they are starting to celebrate here at Lynn Cottrell Park as they now have a 3-0 lead over the Hurricanes. And they are one step closer now to reaching the PBC tournament semifinals. So now with 19:23 left in this game, GSW has their backs up against the wall.
By number 23, Natalie McGuire.
After that goal from Natalie McGuire.
Megan O'Brien. Your new score here at the UNG
Another assist for Megan O'Brien. There we go.
Southwestern nil.
And O'Brien now tied with El Shami for the most assists this season on North Georgia.
It also looks like we've got Angie Garcia in the midfield.
So lots of players for Coach Ralton are going to see the field in tonight's game.
I think that's a smart play. You've got to let the starters rest. They've played a lot this whole season, usually some of them 90 minutes. So if they're already up 3-0, you might as well just take them out and let them rest and just be fully good, fully fresh for the next game.
And this is good time for the younger players as well on this team to see some action in a PBC tournament game. You know, it's a little different from your regular season games. And so if the Nighthawks are able to come away with the win today, it'll be great to have players all across this roster for North Georgia who have seen action in PBC games.
North Georgia
This goes into the hands
tonight at the concession stand,
of
you
Bideau.
can use your meal swipes to get a hot dog, chili,
Under 18 minutes left, the Nighthawks have
and drink combo. You
started to
can
come
use-
alive here in
you
this
can
second
use your
half
meal swipe to get a hot
with a
dog,
3-0
chips,
lead over
and
Georgia
drink
Southwestern.
combo at the UNG concession stand right behind the field house tonight using your meal swipe.
As Bideau boots this one downfield. GSW is going to try to make a push here as they try to climb back into this game. Nice through ball there from Angie Garcia. Finds O'Brien. O'Brien crosses it in. And that gets back to Garcia, who gets the ball taken away from her in the box. Nice recovery there from GSW. And the Hurricanes just clear this one. As Vessel plays him back and forth with now Emma Martin on the field for North Georgia. Ball's inside the box for North Georgia. They take the shot. A whistle and a foul is going to go against the Nighthawks. Believe that was offsides. Great chip there, though, from North Georgia. Game's going to stay at 3-0, though.
I know that's always annoying when the whistle blows and it still goes in the back of the net.
Is this one sent downfield? Now with just over 15 minutes left, Nighthawks can play a bit more conservative if they want. Lapenta sends it back to Fowler. Fowler sends it downfield to Michael Fruits. Trying to get that one into Angie Garcia. And we mentioned the dominance of Sierra Fowler earlier. She has established herself as statistically the best goalkeeper in the PBC. And she leads the conference with 10 shutouts. She's only allowed 9 goals this season, which is the second least in the PBC. And she has an .862 save percentage, which is the best in the PBC. What's even scarier is that she's just a junior. So even though we've seen some fantastic play from her, the best is yet to come from Fowler.
Yeah, I think that for her to already be in the top standings like that, she's going against probably some, junior or, seniors, maybe in even fifth years. But for her to be a junior and to already be this good and this high up in the standings, I mean, she's only going to get better. So it's great for North Georgia.
Speaking of North Georgia, they try to make another late game push there. Ball rolls out of play. And the Nighthawks are going to throw in. Fowler hasn't had to do too much tonight. But North Georgia knows if GSW is going to start their attack, Fowler is going to be up to the challenge as one of the best goalkeepers, and not just the PBC, but you could argue in Division II women's soccer as well.
And I think it's great that with the possession play that North Georgia's been playing this season, even though she hasn't touched the ball by saves, she's definitely still being involved in the play. Like they, keep possession, they play it back to her, go out the other side. So she's, definitely still been involved.
And it looks like we're going to have some late game substitutions for Georgia Southwestern, and this is going to be the end of the evening for Bedeau as she steps off the field for Georgia Southwestern, and they make a goalkeeper change. We'll have that substitution for you in just a moment. I believe that is number 1, Grace O'Shaughnessy, now in goal for Georgia Southwestern, the junior out of Manchester, England. Steps on for Bedeau late here in this quarterfinal. Nighthawks keep possession, gets to Alexa Aronoff. Makes her way past 3 GSW defenders. Now with 12 minutes left, North Georgia still up 3-0 against Georgia Southwestern. Gets this into Nikki Gomez. Makes her way past some Hurricane defenders. Hurricanes take over.
I really thought that was going to be another corner right there. The Hurricane defender did a good job.
It definitely would have been on trend with what we've seen so far in this game. Would have been their 13th of the game. But instead, North Georgia's going to throw in. This gets back to Bailey Vessel. Now to Angie Garcia.
That was a good ball. Might be a little bit too much, though.
Yeah, a little too strong on that one. It's going to end up in another goal kick for Georgia Southwestern, as Garcia tried to find Diaz there on that through ball. So GSW will send this one downfield. And last season when the Nighthawks were in this situation in the PBC quarterfinals, North Georgia took down GCSU 4-2 with our own Abby Crane scoring 2 goals against the Bobcats to push the Nighthawks on to the semifinals. And North Georgia's about 10 minutes away now from reaching the semifinals for the 2nd straight season. We'll see if they can match those 4 goals from last year in the final 10 minutes.
I think North Georgia can do it. They still got their foot on the gas pedal.
We talked about that in the first half. Doesn't matter what the score is. They're going to try to put up as many goals as they possibly can. And no lead is safe in the PBC. Nighthawks throw in to La Penta. I believe that Vessel is the only starter left on the field for North Georgia.
Besides Sierra Fowler, I think you're correct there.
Yeah, Sierra Fowler still in goal for North Georgia.
Wondering if Coach Kaylee will switch her out for maybe the last 9 minutes or so, just to put someone else in.
give her about 9 minutes, catch her breath, and get ready for potential semifinal game. As this gets back to Bailey Vessel. The sun is starting to set here in Dahlonega. Lights have come on at the UNG soccer field. As the Lady Hurricanes try to make a push. It's cleared out of bounds by North Georgia. Hurricanes are going to throw in.
I definitely brought my sweatpants and my jacket for this next game. It's getting a bit chilly.
Definitely is getting a little bit chilly outside. Those complimentary coffees and hot chocolate are going to come in handy as that ball is sent out of play. And Fowler is going to have a goal kick here. And we've got plenty of action for you today on the Nighthawk Sports Network. This is game one of our Peach Belt Conference Soccer Tournament doubleheader. Following this game, North Georgia men's soccer will also be hosting a PBC tournament quarterfinals game, also against Georgia Southwestern. North Georgia enters the tournament as the 3rd seed, and Georgia Southwestern enters as the 6th seed. North Georgia men's soccer wrapped up their regular season undefeated at home, just like women's soccer did. Abby, I know you've been able to catch a lot of those men's soccer games as well. They've been just such a fun team to watch this season, especially at home, when they've been so dominant all season long.
Yeah, I would say it's been very entertaining for sure, just to see the improvement, because the past 5 years that I've been here, I mean, the girls have kind of always been better and been on top, and so it's great to see that the guys have stepped up and had such a great season, and they've made it to the tournament and get to host the first game. That's a really big deal for them.
And this is the first time that they've gone undefeated at home since the UNG Soccer Complex at Lynn Cottrell Park opened back during the 2003-2004 season. So it's definitely been a big year for Coach Lilich and the Nighthawks. And there's just such an excitement for North Georgia sports all around, as we just mentioned. North Georgia men's soccer having their best season in years. Same thing for North Georgia women's soccer. North Georgia men's and women's basketball enter the PBC as the number 1 seeds in the conference. So lots of things to be excited about if you're a fan of UNG athletics here this fall. Again, good job by North Georgia's defense, swarming the Hurricanes there. As this ball gets back to Fowler, as Geraldine Alvarez tried to make a play on the ball there. Alvarez, as we mentioned earlier, is the only senior for this GSW squad. Pretty young team here at Georgia Southwestern. And this is going to be North Georgia's 14th corner of the game. Get it in quickly. Got a whistle and a foul. I believe this is going to go against North Georgia, as a player is down for GSW. And the clock will stop here at Lynn Cottrell Park with just over 5 minutes left. I believe that was Alvarez who went down in the box. Couldn't quite see what happened that caused her to hit the turf. Hopefully she's okay. Trainers have not come out quite yet. And she's able to make her way back up to her feet. Good sight to see that Alvarez is okay, and we will resume play here momentarily at Lynn Cottrell Park.
Yeah, probably knocked the wind out of her. It looked like she fell right on her back there.
Under 5 minutes to go, North Georgia getting closer to reaching the PBC tournament semifinals. As Fowler collects that one, falls on top of the ball. She's seen a little bit more action here in the second half, a little more than she did in the first. But of course, she's proven to everybody why she's one of the best goalkeepers in the Peach Belt Conference. And North Georgia men's soccer and Georgia Southwestern men's soccer have arrived on the scene as they get ready to take the field for their PBC tournament quarterfinals game against one another. As North Georgia throws in, GSW not putting a whole lot of pressure on this North Georgia back line. Nighthawks can make a late game push here as O'Brien tried to cross it in. It stayed on the ground as O'Shaughnessy collects. And O'Shaughnessy boots it downfield, gets right back into the possession of North Georgia. Chloe Diaz with the ball. Again, cleared by GSW. We're going to have a whistle and a foul go against GSW, I believe.
I think so. That looked like a straight arm shove right there. I mean, I'm sure that there's, you know, some built up aggression being 3-0 down, and it means they're out of the tournament. So it's definitely, going to get a little bit aggressive these next couple minutes.
And so far, this has been a pretty clean game. No cards thrown. As GSW takes over. Vessel now with the ball. Vessel will try to make a push here into the box. Again, cleared by GSW. And their defense has had some highlights here in this game. Specifically, Bedeau. In that first half, played very solid for GSW. But unfortunately, they find themselves down 3-0 to North Georgia. Under 2 minutes to go in this game. Vessel with the ball. She tries to send it into the box, and that's going to roll almost out of play. Now it goes out of play. Nighthawks throw it in. This gets back to Michelle LaPenta. And that gets back to Emma Martin and then Vessel. And the Nighthawks are 1 minute away from punching their ticket to the Peach Belt Conference Tournament semifinals. This is a big win for North Georgia as they're going to pick up their 14th of the season. It's been a phenomenal season so far for the Nighthawks. And barring a miracle comeback, it looks like that home undefeated streak for them is going to stay alive as well. We'll see if the men can follow that up as well after this game. And North Georgia is a scary team to play here in Dahlonega.
10, 9, 8,
clock ticks
7,
under
6,
10 seconds left.
5, 4,
Ball
3,
is booted up
2,
into the air,
1.
hits the turf, and that's gonna do it. Your final score from Lynn Cottrell Park. 3-0 Nighthawks win. North Georgia is headed to the semifinals. Their dominant season continues as they are one step closer to a Peach Ball Conference Tournament Championship with a chance to move on in front of the Nighthawk faithful as they have locked themselves in as hosts for the semifinals and the finals. Abby, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think that was great. I mean, we weren't happy with 1-0. We said that in the beginning, Robert, that they're going to hit that gas pedal the whole game, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, to be 3-0 up, that's awesome. And I'm excited to see how they do in the next one.
And don't go away because we've got more PBC tournament action coming your way as the 3rd-seeded North Georgia men's soccer take the field to face the 6th-seeded Georgia Southwestern in the quarterfinals. On behalf of Abby Crane and the rest of the NSN team, this is Robert DiClemente saying thanks so much for watching. Again, your final score from Dahlonega, 3-0 Nighthawks win the PBC tournament quarterfinals game. More PBC tournament soccer is up next. Until then, have a great night, everyone.